sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. Listen, if you're like me, you hate doing admin crap. Number one, because you're not good at it. And number two, because you know it's taking you away from the stuff that actually makes you money. So why are you doing it? Do what I did. Go to worksby.com right now and let them pair you with a real executive assistant. Once I started working with Cheryl at Worksby, my income went up 40% in 1 month, and my working hours went from 70 down to 40. It's a game changer. Go to worksby.com right now, book a call, and tell them Walker sent you. If you do, you'll get 2 extra hours of service for free as a bonus. So if you're ready to finally stop doing the stuff you hate and focus on the stuff that makes you money, go to worksby.com right now. That's WORXBEE.com. Tell them Walker sent you, and you'll get those 2 free hours.
Welcome to No BS Sales School Podcast. I'm your host, Walker McKay. Whew. Today is an interesting day. I got a lot of pressure on me. The reason I want you to listen to this podcast is the message I want you to hear is keep moving. Keep moving. I've got a business is going really well. We had a damn good 2020. Lot of changes, a lot of good things growing, and we've rolled into 2021, and I feel like I've kind of reached it started happening towards the end of 2020. Now we're in 2021. I feel like I keep hitting this. It's what Dan Sullivan at Strategic Coach calls a ceiling of complexity, where there's going to break into the next level. I've got to break a lot of the stuff I'm doing right now. I have to find new relationships. I have to find new technology. I've got to start doing new things that are what somebody at the next level does. Because right now I keep bumping up against the same shit that's holding me back. And I gotta be honest with you, it's kind of, it's scary. I've been throwing money at a bunch of things. I've worked with 2 coaches now, which is kind of wild that it takes 2 coaches to keep me moving. They're for 2 different things. One is more of a strategic coach, if you will, not strategic coach itself. I did that program years ago, which is great, by the way. And the other one is more tactical about marketing. And both are valuable to me in their own way. It's funny, it's hard to tell. You never know what's going on in other people's lives. My assistant Cheryl, whom I love, she is my practice manager, and she's become a dear friend, and I see her as a partner in my business. And it's funny though, because she lives in Atlanta and we talk to each other via Zoom. Never met her face to face. But she said something the other day that kind of caught me off guard. She said, you're really good at doing videos. You're a natural. And I winced. I'm like, I'm not a natural, actually at all. And I said this and it sounded defensive. I said, I have worked my ass off to be better at videos. And I absolutely sucked when I started doing videos. And there's just so much more to it than I ever imagined. And there's so much more to it, from shooting a video to doing one that is impactful and good and gives a message. And so there's a lot going on, behind the scenes that in this business that is, it takes a ton of freaking work. And I get good at a certain thing, like the 50-second videos. I'm freaking good at those, right? I've got the process down. I can just knock those things out. I got it. But it took me 18 months, maybe 24 months to get good at those. And now I'm doing some other marketing work, which means I've got to shoot some other videos for a lead magnet that we're doing. But the videos, this is going to sound kind of stupid, but the videos are 3 minutes long, right? It's going to take about 3 minutes. My brain is not wrapped around a 3-minute video. I have trouble because I look at the script, but I can't use the script. But I got to think about it as a format and have to think about the whole damn thing all the way through. And then I've got to be able to deliver it without looking at anything, which again takes some practice, ADD brain. And then I've got to do that while, acting, right? So that it is I'm acting to seem authentic, like I'm doing this out of nowhere, right? Like it's just coming off the tip of my tongue. It is not. It's hard damn work. And I know this sounds like I'm whining, but I just sent Cheryl an email a few minutes ago and I said, oh my God, I'm doing all this work in marketing. I'm spending all this time. I'm creating this stuff. I'm writing this stuff. I'm recording this stuff. And I've got people that are helping me do that. They're giving me kind of the big picture ideas, but I'm the one doing the work. And there are no more hours in the day. And I'm starting to panic. And I just emailed Cheryl and I said, holy shit. I said, am I doing this right? I'm doing all this work. It's taking me all this time. I'm not very good at it. It's taking me away from the shit that I am good at, which I think is selling. And maybe it's shorter videos. And I think it's doing talks. And I don't know, but the podcast thing has taken me 2.5 years. I'm slowly getting better at that, I guess. I'm getting good feedback from y'all. But it's overwhelming. And I go back to my original belief that at some point, maybe we all get there, maybe we do, maybe we don't. And I thought, that there's there's a place where you are there. And when I get there, everything's going to be okay. And what I've recognized, and I've said this before in my podcast, there is no there. Or I haven't found a there yet. I do have one client that said he's there. He sold his company and he got about $80 million. He says he's there. I'm not there yet. But I keep hoping that there's a time where I can coast, or I have this vision of this time where everything's going to be easy. And fuck, it's not easy. And I don't want to sound like I'm whining. I've got so many good things going on. We've come such a long way, and I respect my clients so much for trusting me enough to help them grow, and we're getting good success there. But I'm looking back at me going, all right, now how the hell are you going to grow? And I've reached this, like I call it a ceiling complexity, where there's only so much more I can do with my current setup. I probably need to add another person, be that part-time or full-time. And maybe that person does some training for me. Maybe that person does maybe it's a separate person, does some marketing for me. Maybe it is, shit, it could be anything, right? That's the joy, the good news and the bad news of running your own company is you can do whatever the hell you want. You can waste your money any way you want. You make these investments and you say, I believe I'm doing the right thing, but only time will tell. And what I had to tell myself this morning is I sent this panicked email to Cheryl saying, walk me off the ledge. What the hell am I doing here? Am I doing the right thing? I mean, only the future knows, right? And the right thing, I don't know that at this point there are bad choices. I don't know, right? Any choice you make just takes you down a different rich path. I don't know that there are good versus bad choices. I think they're illegal and immoral, and they're things that turn out in hindsight to be stupid. But if you went in with the best of intentions, I mean, who's to know? I think a lot of people that pontificate on their podcasts, or they go on some of these fancy podcasts and they talk about how to become a billionaire. And I admire, I don't know, admire is not the right word. I'm in awe, I guess, of some of those people that go on the 4-hour work week podcast guy. Great, love those things. However, I got to tell you, some of those guys are smart. Let's say they're all smart, but I would also say that a lot of them that become a billionaire by the time they're 30 years old, I think they got lucky too. And look, I'm fine with luck. And I know that some people are super talented. I get that. But I think when we only talk to the people that made it, when we only talk to and listen to the guys that made $1 billion or $500 million by the time they were 30, I think we get that the thing is survivor bias, right? We're only hearing the stories of the people that made it, right? But there are also plenty of brilliant people and hardworking people out there that maybe they made a different choice, or right now things haven't gone like that, or they've only made $5 million, which to many of us would be a huge success. We don't hear from those guys very much. So I guess my point to any of you out there, my little rant, my talk now as I talk through my angst and my anxiety is, man, when you're growing, it is scary. It's freaking scary. Maybe it's not as scary as not growing. Although maybe if you're not growing, you're just in your comfort zone, right? And so that feels okay. But I'm out here trying to figure out, I've got to X amount of revenue, which I thought when I got there, I would be there, right? It'd be easy. And now what I've recognized is it's no longer about the money. It's how do I grow and serve more people? How can I scale this organization so that there is more there, that there are more people I can help, and there are more lives I can impact, and more people that I can touch, so that, again, to doing my little part to leave something here. So all this vomit and emotional vomit I'm going through, I have to tell my clients all the time, just keep moving. Take one step, one foot in front of the other, keep moving. And that's the way you make changes, is one step at a time until there's a breakthrough. And maybe there's some argument that there's other things, but the first thing you have to do is kind of believe that there's a next level out there. You have to believe. I heard this great quote that was, people in their comfort zone don't see anything better. People in their comfort zone don't see anything better. They don't see that there is better, right? And so therefore they don't strive for it. I know that there's better. And when I say better, I really don't, I don't mean, would I love it to have $100 million? Sure. But that's not really what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, how can I grow something that is fun for me, that is that's energizing for me, that I can impact more lives and really make a big difference, and be able to, show my kids the right way to live, and to be an example to my children, and to be the right husband, and do all those things, and grow a business. And you just make a series of choices all the time, A, B, A, B, A, B, C, one of these. And we just kind of do our best to predict what's the right thing. And some of it happens by luck, and some of it happens because you made the right choice, but none of us can predict the future. Who the hell could have predicted a freaking pandemic? And then who the hell could have predicted how it might have helped some of us in our business? So I talk to my clients a lot, that when they've been with me for 4 to 6 months, right, and we're going through this beginning of a transformation of how they think about themselves, and they think about selling, and they think about growing their business. And when we've been working together for 4 to 6 months, what often happens is that somebody had a client tell me just last week, he goes, I see that the way you're showing me is better. I know that that's the right path, that the way to deal with people, and to negotiate with people, and to sell to people, and to communicate with people, and to coach my staff, and to coach my salespeople, and to hire. I know your way is the better way. But sometimes I can't make that way come out of my mouth. I can't be that person you're asking me to be. And what I tell those people is, here's what I want you to do. It's normal that you be overwhelmed at this time, because you see a lot of the new stuff that's coming at you, and it makes sense, but you can't make it come out of your mouth. But I'll tell you is, take one little piece at a time and put it into action, and do it again and again and again. And then take the next piece and do it again and again and again. And eventually what will happen is you'll say, okay, this is starting to make sense. It's starting to come together now. And then at 12 months, you'll say, oh, hell, I've got it. This makes sense, right? And then at 18 months, you look back and go, shit, I didn't know anything at 12 months. Look at where I am now. And it continues as you continue to challenge and grow. And the wild thing is, I'm sitting here talking and thinking, and I'm going through exactly the same thing. And it's hard for me to take my own advice. So just know, at each point in your journey, as a business person, as a human being, as a salesperson, as a whatever, there will be hard spots and confusing spots, and you'll get to a place where you get to make a choice. Do I want to continue along this path, which is scary, and I don't know where it's going to turn out, or do I want to make a different choice, which feels new, right, and gets me out of this scary path? But then, in 3 months, I sit here and wonder, is this the right path? Am I going to go through the same thing again? And what am I doing? And how much time have I wasted? So what I'll tell you is, make a choice, move forward. Know there's going to be a time that's super uncomfortable. You're going to wonder, did I make the right choice? Am I doing the right thing? What I'll tell you is keep moving. If it just feels wrong, if it's immoral or illegal, or you don't sense you're getting where you want to go and you need to make a choice to get out, get out. Just be ready that in 3 to 6 months later, are you going to be feeling the same thing again about the different path that you took? I'll go back to you and say, oftentimes there are no bad choices, right? At the time, there are no bad choices. We look back in hindsight and realize what a stupid choice it was. Go along your path, keep pushing, keep moving. Know that you have to grow and be uncomfortable to get better. That there are a lot of things that people say, gosh, or you look at somebody else and say, gosh, they're a natural. They're just great at this. I'm never going to be that good. And what I want you to think instead of they're a natural is, I wonder how freaking hard they had to work to look like they're good at that. Somebody's looking at you the same way at what you do. And maybe it's somebody in your business who's below you. Maybe it's your children, whatever that is. But I want you to know that the people that you're looking up to, they've busted their ass as well. And it is hard, and life is hard, and business is hard. And we can sit here and complain about how fucking hard it is, or you can just keep moving, knowing that if you're growing, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel like you're getting kicked in the face. You're going to feel overwhelmed, right? But that's what it's like to break through a ceiling. That's what it's like to break through. It is scary, right? So, advice to you. Pick a path, keep moving. If your expectations have not been met, if after a period of time you say, this is not working, make a choice to make a switch. But just know there will come a time soon thereafter that too will feel hard. This is what growth feels like. Keep moving. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales Podcast. Thank you all for letting me vomit my emotions, my nervousness, my fear this morning. Help me walk through this crazy place that I'm in right now. Hopefully we'll all be able to look back and laugh. Anytime, starting to get a bunch of emails from you guys about what you're learning from the podcast. I would love to hear that stuff. And one way you can help me, quite frankly, would be great if you would post on your socials, hey, I just listened to Walker's podcast and here's what I learned. That would be freaking super. Our numbers are growing like crazy for the podcast. Always good to get more, to grow, to share this information with other people. If you've learned something today, post this podcast on your social feeds and say what you learned. Send me an email and say, here's what, Walker, thanks. Here's what I've learned, or F you, you're missing the point. I'm happy to get those things too. It does happen from time to time. If you are looking for somebody to help you grow, who will challenge you, who is out here on this path, maybe a couple of steps ahead of you in a couple of ways, maybe a couple of steps behind you in a couple others, but it's had a different experience, one that I'd like to share and one that can probably help you, maybe can help you. If you're open to that, pick up the phone, 803-917-2817, or email me at walker@walkermckay.com. Let's have a no BS business conversation and see if I can help you with something that you're struggling with. Thank you. Go get them.